Yeah, ideally you want to tease through 3 and 7. Underdog up from around 2 to 3 through 3-7, and favorite that's around a touchdown, down below a touchdown and a field goal. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to tease the Dolphins on Sunday night down from 7.5 to 1.5. Tua back. Steelers defense, a lot of injuries. This is not a rah-rah spot. Likely to see Mitch Trubisky, who I think is a significant downgrade from Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's been great against the blitz too, which matters against the Dolphins, but I doubt you see him here. You'll probably see Trubisky. Steelers are still a really bad football team. Dolphins, big time bounce back spot here. Love them and love this matchup for their offense. And so I'll tease them down, and then we're going to tease the Colts up. This Titans team, if I can get 3, I'm taking the Colts. The Colts almost made my 6-pack. I mean, the Colts are closed -4 at home a couple weeks ago against the Titans. Now they're catching 2.5. This Titans team, yes, they're coming off a bye. Let me get my weekly Titan slander in. They had a bye last week. I have people who follow me. They changed their names to Titans own Stucky. For 2 weeks they did, but I would take them anytime. Like that Washington game, you got dominated by the Commanders. Did you see the Commanders against the Bears? How do you get dominated by the Commanders? Titans, by the way, yeah, they're good on their scripted portion of the plays. Remember I said Arizona averages 1.5 points per their first 3 drive? Titans are at 12.5. That's by far number 1 in the NFL. After the first quarter, they are dead last in EPA per play. They do nothing on offense after the first quarter, just like what happened in the first matchup with the Colts. But now word is out on what they're trying to do in the scripted portion. You saw Washington shut it down. The Colts have already seen it. The Titans are also scoring touchdowns on 92% of their red zone trips. 92. That is not sustainable at all. There's major regression coming in that department. By the way, the Titans defense also stinks. They're 30th in EPA per play. But think about this. After the first quarter, the Titans offense has been worse than the Panthers this season. And, Vrabel is great off the bye. I'll give him credit. And he's great as an underdog, but you want to fade him as a favorite. Vrabel's 4-0 against the spread and straight up off of a bye, covering by 14 points per game. But Frank Reich, great on the road, 17-6 against the spread, number 1 in the NFL among all head coaches since he's been hired. And I think there's value on the Colts here, but like it's 2.5, so like it doesn't really matter. 2-1. Like I may get a coin flip. If I get 3, I'll take it, but happily tease this up in a lower scoring game, and not that much of an adjustment for home field advantage in a divisional game. Colts do have injury questions as well. Not sure who's definitely going to go, so I'll tease them up over 8. Take the Colts plus 8.5, and I will take the Dolphins -1, and Colts are going to win that game, by the way.
I'm actually insulted that you chose to go against my pick on the 6-pack instead of just taking this low-hanging fruit of the Colts as you getting 2.5. Didn't you weigh the points with the Colts the last time when they were like
I make it 0 with injury uncertainty, so I show value, but like the difference between 0 to 2.5 is just not much. If I could get 3, and you'll see it come across in the app, I will take 3. I also want to find out, like, is Taylor playing? Is Leonard playing? So there's all kinds of injury questions that the Colts are currently dealing with. So we'll see. But the Colts are winning that game.
For my teaser, I'm gonna tease the Saints up to 8.5, and let's go with the Raiders. Actually, let's go with the Raiders down to a point over the Texans here. Both teams coming off a bye. I think the Raiders are the better team, and I think they talk about a team that needs to get right and has been unlucky. I mean, the Raiders are near the top of the list. I think they also match up well in this spot. Houston, they're going to play a ton of zone. They don't get a ton of pressure, and they don't blitz very much. So I think Devontae Adams is going to be able to eat here. They've been weak against perimeter receivers, and I think Josh Jacobs is going to eat because they've been weak against the run. So I think the Raiders can put up some points here, and I think they win this game. Maybe it's a 7-point game. Maybe I wouldn't lay the full 7, but I don't mind the point.